Good morning, friends. Woo! It's very cold. As you can hear, it's also very rainy. It's been raining for 2 days. We've gotten about 2 inches, which is a lot, but it's also great because I'm hoping that that means the IBC tote out at the farm is starting to fill up. Yesterday, I spent a couple of hours in here bumping up all the seedlings that were in small soil blocks. So we're going to do a little greenhouse tour this morning, and then I'm going to sow some more seeds. So let's start with the tour, and then I'll show you what seeds we're going to be starting. Okay, we are going to begin by looking up here. It's kind of hard to see because of the light, but we've got all of our succulents going on here on the top shelf. Everybody just kind of hanging out, not using any of them right now, but they're all there waiting for me. On the next shelf, we've got our violas. This is a whole tray here of Johnny Jump Ups. This is, we've got 8 seedlings in the front here that are Arkwright Ruby, and the rest are Penny Marina violas. And then this whole tray is King Henry violas. They're looking good, they're getting big. Probably need some water today. Yes, feeling some dryness, so have to do that. This is one of the shelves with stuff that we started bumping up yesterday. So we've got pansies in the front here, then we've got some Sweet William, and the rest is Linaria. Looking forward to sticking that out in the garden this year. Here we've got Echinacea in the front, just 4 of them. And then we've got Anise Hyssop, and then blue asters in the back there. And then this whole tray is Sweet Alyssum. 2 different varieties. We've got the white variety and then the Oriental Nights, which is kind of a purple variety. Down here, we've got in soil blocks. They're not ready to be bumped up yet, but this was spotty germination because it's really old seed. This is Fata Morgana scabiosa. It doesn't bother me that there's only a few in here. Just fine. Again, using up seed. Here, we've got a bunch of our peppers. And then up front, we've got the apple blossom and apple blossom geranium. And then this is Asperbrock broccoli. Over here, also bumped up yesterday, we've got a pansy mix in the front. And then more, that's Nicotiana in the back. Then down here, we've got our first tray of celosia. We've got very spotty germination. Again, old seed. But we'll do what we can. Also, it's cold. And so even though these were on a heat mat when they germinated, it's cold in here, so they're not really going to do much growing. This tray is more feverfew. We've got Magic Single and Magic Lime Green. And then here are our edible flowers here. Haven't had a chance to transplant those out yet. So on Friday, Dylan and I did bulk transplanting. I transplanted all of the vegetables that were in here out to the garden. Caged them up. They're in their raised beds. They're all covered and protected. And then we went to the farm, and Dylan and I transplanted all the stock, the Ami Magus, the Daucus, and the sweet peas. So that's what opened up some space in here for me to be able to bump up all the seedlings yesterday. Okay, then up here we've got big tray of yarrow, and I can't even remember what these are. I just popped them up there yesterday. They're all looking good. Here, under a dome and seedling heat mat, it's more peppers that take a little longer to germinate. And then I think, we've got some vegetables back there. It's still waiting on germination on those. And then here is all the tomatoes. And of course, nobody's germinated yet. That's totally to be expected, but they are on a seedling heat mat. No rush. Down here, we've got all the marigolds that we sowed, and those should start coming up pretty soon. In fact, I see 1 or 2 little guys that have already sprouted. We've got calendula that was bumped up. These are more maverick geraniums here. We've got mountain mint and coleus. I took those out of the original trays and put them on a smaller tray so we have more space. Same thing with these. This is Rudbeckia Sahara and Prairie Sun, and Salvia, Victorian Blue. And then here's our first zinnia succession, and they're on a heat mat. They're doing well. And then, of course, And then, of course, we've got dahlias here. This is Bishop's Children, our first succession of sunflowers, and I sowed more yesterday, so White Knight and Peach. Then we'll have a final succession in the back. And then we've got these choice dahlias and more yarrow in the back there. So right now the greenhouse is full of possibility, and I'm excited. Everything looks really good. Like I said, this is the first time in years that they haven't been decimated in here by rodents, and so it feels good. We also have a whole bunch of seedlings coming in the next couple of weeks as plugs. So we have more snapdragons, which is great because the ones that are out at the farm were not doing well. Never really put on more than their initial set of leaves. And I don't know if that's a soil thing or what, but we have new seedlings to put in the ground. Oh gosh, and there's a bunch of other stuff that's coming and I can't remember, but we'll go over all of that when it arrives. So today we are starting some more seeds, not nearly as many as last week, which is nice, but still a decent amount. We're going to put all of these in soil blocks, but we're going to use the Swift Blocker, so bigger soil blocks than the small 3/4 inch ones. So the first thing we're starting is basil. This is cinnamon basil, and we're also doing Miss Burns lemon basil, which I don't have a picture of. These are primarily for, they're not really, I mean, you can eat them, but they're not really culinary basils. These I use because they smell amazing, and they're great greenery for bouquets. Most cut flowers don't have a scent, with very few exceptions. And so it's nice to be able to put a scent in, and basil is a wonderful filler foliage that has beautiful scent that can do that. Another one is mint. And so I also have mint that I harvest that's just kind of growing in our garden that I will use as filler as well. Then we're starting, and this is old seed, so I don't know how much it's gonna work. Dill. So this is Ducat dill. You can use it as a culinary herb as well as a great filler flower. So very similar in flower to like Queen Anne's lace, except it is yellow. And then we have four varieties that we're starting that are, for the most part, well, half of them are for the garden and half are for the farm. And none of these have photos. So these are all from Swallowtail Gardens in Santa Rosa. This is a new seed company to me, and so I'm excited to be starting seeds from them. First we have Pink Shimmer Kufia. These are fan-shaped, small pink flowers, pink and white flowers that bloom in continuous profusion from early spring through summer. They're heat tolerant. They branch really nicely, 10 to 16 inches high, and the spread is about 12 to 18 inches. Pink Shimmer Kufias are great additions to mixed containers and also make nice low borders. So the reason I got this color is that it's kind of the color theme for the annuals that we've got coming for the garden this year. So these should go very nicely. Next we have one of my very favorite container plants, and this is Silver Falls Dichondra. I've only ever bought it at the nursery, and it's actually oftentimes hard to find. It's so popular that as soon as nurseries get them in stock, the flats sell out pretty quickly. So I'm going to start them from seed this time. I've never done it before. I'm assuming it's not going to be a big deal. Light aids in germination. So if you've never used Dichondra Silver Falls, it's a gorgeous plant, and it just does the beautiful spilling. It really does fall over the container. It looks lovely, and it continues to grow the entire season. So, and it's also heat and drought tolerant, which for me is super important, especially in my containers, because when we get in the summertime and we get in our triple digits, even if I'm watering every single day, those containers still dry out. And so it's really important to have things in there that don't mind that. So starting those. And then the next two we were starting are Baby's Breath. Now, I have tried to grow these from seed before and did not succeed. I think that was just user error, not anything to do with the seeds. So we've got a white Baby's Breath and a deep rose. Both of these get about 20 inches tall, and I can use them, in the garden and at the farm. And these also are going in soil blocks. light also aids in germination for these guys, so they don't want to be covered. So that's it. It's a very simple amount of seed starting today, which is good because I got the heat running right now at my legs. I was out here yesterday without the heat, but it wasn't as cold yesterday. And by the end of the day, I was just completely chilled through. Like my legs were freezing. You know, you'd think all the fat that you store in your hips would keep you warm. It does not for me. It just gets colder. So right now it is 48 degrees Fahrenheit in here, and I'm cold. So considering I'm going to have wet hands from the soil, I'm really glad. So I had to unplug the big giant seedling heat mat in order to plug in the heater because I can't run everything or the fuses go. But these plants that are on the seedling heat mat right now are not germinating. They're just growing. And so they'll be okay for a couple of hours. All right, let me mix up my, I've already got soil blocking mix in my tidy tray here. I just need to add water and then get the soil blocks made, and then we'll get those seeds sown. One other thing, I was watching Garden Answer yesterday, and they were treating their linden trees with gypsum, and because like me, they have high soil pH, which is like an 8, and very compacted soils and very clay soils. And gypsum, just like I use at the farm, helps open up those soils. It's also a good form of calcium that does not raise the pH. So in areas where you have high pH, you don't want to add things that will open the soil, like calcium. It's a really big molecule. It helps to break up clay soils. But if you add lime, which is the normal thing people would recommend, your pH will go up. So if you already have high pH, you don't want to increase that pH. Now, pH in this case is important because when it's too high or too low, the nutrients that are in the soil right around the plants are not available to the plant. They just can't take it up. The pH blocks that. So what she also added, and I had totally forgotten about this, so this is exactly what I'm going to do. And thank you, Laura, at Garden Answer, because I think this might fix my problems at the farm, is humic acid. So humic acid makes the minerals and the vitamins that are in the soil more available to the plants. And you can put this on top of beds that already have plants growing in them. And this is something that I should be adding all the time. So we are supposed to have a break in the rain on Friday. Today's Tuesday. So on Friday morning, I'm going to go get as many bags of humic acid as I can. And you can buy it in a liquid form and just treat the soil surface, but I want granular so that the rain that's coming again the next day can water it all in. And so this, I think, is going to help me at the farm. It gets to a point where if you're, like I said, if your nutrients are locked up and the plants can't access them, it doesn't matter how many times you fertilize, they're not going to get that from the soil. So even though I put fertilizer down before this rain came, and that will soak into the soil, they may not be able to access that at all. So adding this humic acid will really help that. So fingers crossed, I think this is going to help. Now we did get colder. We got down in the 30s again, but not freezing. And the only thing I'm hoping for is that we don't get hail. The last time we had a really hard hail was a couple years ago, and that was when all of my plants, all of my fall planted spring plants were in a high tunnel. That was at our old location. And so nobody got, damaged, but hail can really be destructive. So I'm hoping that we don't get any hail because that would really damage what's already out at the farm. Nothing I can do about it. Just have to hope for the best. All right, let me get my stuff together and get going, and we will get these seeds sown. once again, my camera battery died, so we're doing this last part on the phone, but here are the 3 trays. They're looking good. They'll germinate just fine. They're on a seedling heat mat. I don't think I need to put a dome over them. The zinnias germinated just fine, just on the heat mat with no dome. So I think we're all set. So I know that was a short video. I apologize, but it's dumping rain and there's really nothing we could do outside. Everything is just a mudslide. But hopefully over the next couple days, I can come up with some indoor projects to keep us busy until we can go out to the farm on Friday to put down that humic acid and check on everything. Make sure everybody's looking good. Also, keep your fingers crossed for me that we don't have any hail. So before we go, I just want to say, rest in power, Reverend Jesse Jackson. You are missed. So thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.